Dave Rubin does nothing but virtue signal for right-wing conservatives. But, you know, there be that. Very first bit we have here is from Karamba, and no context is given as always, but it always looks absolutely fucking stellar. The next piece we have is from Indigo Echo 901. His Majesty has been throned as he should be. So I guess we have King Slime Suris. Yina Garantina, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an owl. Owl. The next one we have is from Salem. Not Salem who did this character model, different Salem, but this one says, decided to make a sketch of a villain Catgirl Suris. I don't know why either. So this is the character that kills your entire village. And then afterwards you have to have like 300 episodes of chasing down while never actually seeing their face. That is what this version of Surus is for. That said, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future episode, then drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. Past that, let's go ahead and get to the topic at hand. Dave Rubin is expecting children. Now, this shouldn't be newsworthy. It's neat that he's having kids, but there's a thing we have to point out here. While Dave Rubin is pointing out that they've got they're doing looks like a surrogacy. Looks like a surrogacy is happening, and that's super neat. But you know how often the left eats each other? Do you want to watch the right eat each other for a little bit? Because we're gonna watch the right eat each other for a little bit. So PragerU responds with congrats Rubin report. Of course, he's been paid by PragerU to do a lot of shit, so PragerU would be in his ballpark. But Mark Dice, for those who are familiar with Mark, he is not a leftist, but he just goes from marriages between a man and a woman in just a few years to this at 2 PragerU. People are so mad that gay people can be happy. We're not here to stand Dave Rubin by any means, but we are here to point out that this is what happens when you swing batter for a side that would rather you be either dead or, ran through conversion therapy. It's not just that. From Neff here, honest question, did you expect the reaction to this tweet is getting, or was it a surprise? I had no idea people had such an issue with it. I've always thought surrogacy was such a great idea for those who can't conceive. So I looked through this post earlier today, and there are a bunch of comments in it noting that surrogacy is apparently bad, that people actually have like moral problems with surrogate pregnancies. And I don't understand why. Let's go ahead and move further to see what else we've got here. Said being right-wing does not mean being conservative. Rubin is helping oil that conversation. Wait, what? That one's news to me. That one's news to me. I guess it's not 100%. How does this help us win the culture war? Why does it matter? Dave Riley, why does it matter? Why does it matter if it helps you win the culture war? This is literally, it's just 2 guys having a kid. Is this to replace abortions in the case of ectopic pregnancy? My God. Also, weren't y'all pissed when Pete Buttigieg did the same thing a few months back? Wait, really? Hold on. Okay, I'm not as worried about that. Hey, Dave, maybe reading these comments from your audience will lead you to reconsider your chosen career. I doubt it, but there's always hope. Wait, a genuine question to the crowd. If a straight couple couldn't conceive, would it be okay if they used a surrogate? Or is it just because it's 2 men? Let's go ahead and see. Still unethical. This is what I'm talking about. For some reason, there's this idea that surrogate pregnancy is unethical, and I don't understand. Renting women's bodies is wrong, whoever does it. Okay, so this is an interesting comment, because this, to me, sounds like somebody trying to co-opt progressive language to force a conservative position, which is something we've seen a lot of honestly, lately. We usually see it from people we like to call TERFs. But yeah, a swerf. Yep. A swerf. This is very, very weird. There's a little more in this conversation I actually want to look at. How do you feel about wage labor? Just fine. How do you feel about the sale of human organs? Wait, so if I rent my body out for 8 hours a day for wages, that is bad. But that is good. But if I rent my body out for 9 months to carry a child, that is bad, apparently. Now, if I rent my body out for 8 hours a day for 9 months for a company, that is good. But the minute that it involves helping somebody have a child, then it's bad. It's funny they're assuming women can't consent to being surrogates, so they call it renting. Yep. Surrogacy is terrible, especially if money is involved. If you had a best friend who wanted to do it for you, it would probably still end in heartache, but at least there would be good intentions. Nothing is good about paying people for this service. Why? Wait, libertarian? Wait a minute. Wait, no. Don't sit here with a fucking name like Libertarian Ireland and then get mad about paid for use services. No. You do not get to have that fucking username, you dunce. Surrogacy itself is sinful, more so if two men are forcing their warped passions on a child. All right, so this is, again, another one of those conversations we have to have. There's this very weird idea in heavily conservative spaces that gay people are pushing their lives on children. Moreover, that being gay somehow makes you more likely to be a predator. Like there's some essence of gayness that leads to somebody being attracted and predatory towards children. So this is the classic talking point for the left, just a very niche one. It's a libertarian. They just refuse to understand. Looking through here. Carrying a child for your friend is... to adopt is still kind of bad. According to them. And yeah, you don't need to be gay to be a surrogate, but their points here are like... Surrogacy is sinful on its own. Boom. That's their point. And then more so if two men are forcing their war passion. So surrogacy is bad, but gay surrogacy is double bad. It's double plus ungood. Zaria Rose says there's an issue with surrogacy when sometimes the parents decide they don't want the kid at some point during it. And that's a lot less rare. That's a lot less rare thing that happens than you would think. There's actually a whole realm on TikTok where surrogacy pregnancies and the trauma it caused them growing up because their mom or dad never fully bonded with them being their kid. I mean, that's understandable, but that's an issue within surrogacy. That's not saying that surrogacy itself is bad. Just like adoption is not bad. Adoption is good, though an aspect of adoption, which is how we currently treat gay couples who try to adopt and how we actually treat kids once they actually enter the system for adoption, those are issues that are bad. They don't make adoption bad, but they do make a lot of the internal systems we have as they exist as bad. I thought surrogacy had tons of legal things around it, so people can't do that. You'd be amazed how many things have tons of legal things around them, so people can't do it, and yet people still do. And how often kids are given back. Yep. And kids being treated like shelter dogs. It's fucking gross. But this is not an uncommon thing. We can delve through, because the major points are like surrogacy bad. By the way, you guys are gay. This is bad. We should be telling people on the right that being gay is bad. Therefore, Dave Rubin is bad. We should be doing all this. And again, there is no actual defense of Dave Rubin here. I think the dude is actually scum. But it should be noted, this is not the first time this has happened. Not in the slightest. Do y'all remember ages ago when Dave Rubin had, and I don't remember the dude's name, he had a guest on who freaked out that he was gay. Apparently, this guest didn't know that Dave Rubin, a person who was going to interview him, was gay. Now, whether this says anything about the guest's inability to do any research on the show that he's going on at all, it wasn't Ben Shapiro, no. Here, I'll play you guys the clip just to refresh your memory.
You can't even have a preference around a liberal. A liberal homosexual says, well, you should accept my lifestyle. But if you say, well, I accept your lifestyle, I just don't want my kid to be one. Well, you're a...
Okay, so before we respond, before we let that continue, let's go ahead and point out that if you respect an adult's decision to do a thing, but then you say, I don't want my kid to do it, then you actually don't respect that adult's opinion or ability to do a thing. Reason being, if you don't want your kid to do it, then you believe there is something wrong or dangerous that you have that has to go with it. Being gay in this case being something that is either wrong or dangerous. Those are the reasons why you wouldn't want your child doing or being that. So you have to ask yourself, what are the reasons that you believe that it is wrong or dangerous to be gay? And that will tell you whether or not you actually respect somebody else's preferences.
Well, wait a minute. I accept the fact that you want to be homeless. I don't want my kid to be homeless. I accept the fact that you want to smoke crack. I don't want my kid to smoke crack.
What do we do from here? What do we do from here? Like, I think most people, I know a lot of my audience is going to hear you, really hear you.
Okay.
This is the type of stuff that I think needs to be heard more.
Look at Dave sticking up for himself, being the gay guy thing. Look at him grifting.
And I think that the group of people that are talking about this stuff is actually growing. I do see this. At the same time, the people who don't want to hear us are getting more and more hysterical because that's all they got left.
Even said they hate Dave Rubin because he's a gay man with the wrong opinion. Dave Rubin is gay? No! He got a husband? I did not know. I was in his presence. I didn't know. I shook his hand. I sat down with him. What?
This is what happens. This is what happens to your brain on conservatism.
Why did y'all tell me before I went on the show? Oh, Steven, why would you send me this? Oh my God, Steven, you've ruined my day.
Yeah, he's so upset. He's so upset that he went onto a fellow conservative. If somebody wants to be like, actually, Dave Rubin's a liberal, shut the fuck up. You're wrong. You're wrong, and it's funny that you're wrong. But no. You're wrong. It's funny that you're wrong. We will laugh at you for being wrong. But in the meantime, I think it's honestly more hilarious to watch your brain on conservatism. Your brain on conservatism is sitting next to a person for an hour for an interview, talking with them, disparaging them trying to be as respectful as possible. And then you, as soon as you find out that they are insert otherizing thing here, then you throw them under the bus. Said, wait, being in the presence of a gay man ruined his day? Yes. This is how fucking sensitive some of them are. These are the people that are shitting on Dave Rubin for having a child. Your brain on conservatism, people. Jesus Christ. We'll end on a note that Cherry has thrown at me. This is more Cherry's topic than anything. Blame them. Blame the loaf. Sent you gear. I'm terrible at pronouncing these things. Pointed out that Dave Rubin was a piece of shit who pretended to be on the left to get a job with them. What a fucking liar. Was your house paid for by right-wing bigots? Worth it? You trash sellout. Dave Rubin, in response to Bernie Sanders, when Bernie Sanders says in America, elderly people should not be walking around without teeth in their mouth and not be able to afford to go to a dentist, Dave Rubin responds, so sell one of your 3 houses and get an implant, you old windbag. You know, standard left-wing solidarity, just normal stuff. Can we also point out that whenever somebody says like, oh, Bernie Sanders has a lot of houses, have you seen his houses? They're not gigantic fucking multi-story mansions or anything, but okay. Sure. The politician who's been fighting for workers' rights for 30 years is the problem, while thousands of homes literally sit in random Airbnb limbo, unable to be used by people who need them, like dicks. But, bro, if he's got even more than one house, even if he's got more than one house, he's not wrong. Yep. It's pretty common for middle-class boomers to own multiple homes. Yeah, Bernie's probably talking about elderly people in general, but of course, he's acting like it's on him. Yeah, it's because it's Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin does nothing but virtue signal for right-wing conservatives. But, there be that. So it's reasonable for someone who's in Congress to have a home and an apartment or a second home. Said Bernie has one house in Vermont, an apartment in D.C., and he inherited an old cabin. No. You see, we have to bitch about the ludicrous amount of money the dude has. That will get things solved. Like it's in any way comparable to multi-fucking billionaires. You know. This is like when Mr. Obvious made a whole fucking video about AOC's watch. And somebody sent me that video as if it was a convincing piece of anything. Jesus Christ. People are stupid. Anyway. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think that while I don't want to vocalize support of Dave Rubin, because he is a scum-sucking piece of garbo, I do, however, want to say that when it comes to him wanting to be a father, I at the very least support that. And it's interesting to watch right-wingers cannibalize themselves over the idea of a gay man having kids. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you want to support the channel and what I do, there's plenty of ways to do so in the description below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.